Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Are you ready to do some math? Well, that's what the hell I've been doing all day. Today was monstrous when it came to tutoring, and I have the biggest headache known to Jerusalem. Okay, but I'm here with you guys, and I'm happy to be here. So we are actually going to do like a quick, and when I mean quick, I say quick review on what we did yesterday with factoring. When we have our leading coefficient is not 1. So we're actually going to be doing a little bit of that, as well as kind of working on factoring completion, and well as the perfect squares. So let's get to it. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Bree. Hello, Liney. Hello. There was someone else that was here that I just saw, and all of a sudden their name just flashed by my eyes. But hello. So let's just do a quick review before we kind of jump in. So let me turn this down just a little bit because I feel like I'm shouting. All right, so we have 2x squared plus 19x plus 9. And we are trying to factor this bad boy down into 2 parentheses. So the first thing we need to do is write in our A, our B, and our C, because we are going to be doing this using the AC method. No, it's not a method that I made up because those are part of my initials. It's because that's what you do. The A value is in front of the x squared, which is 2. The B is in front of the x, which is 19. And the C is your constant. So what we're going to do next is we are going to set my cross up. Up here, we're going to multiply our A and our C. And then down here, we're going to rewrite our B so we can figure out what our factors are going to be. So we have 2 times 9. That gives me 18. We rewrite the 19 for this section here. So now we need to think. What 2 numbers multiplied together will give me 18 and add together to give me 19? So think of your multiples of 18. That will make it so much easier. So hopefully you're thinking 1 and 18. Thank you. Hey, Austin. Hey, Pog. How you doing? So we have 18 and 1, and both of them are positive. So this is when I said, okay, we can do either the true AC method or we can do the improvised one. So with the true one, let me come out here. This is when we put in our 2 ratios, our 2 fractions. So what we did was we used our A and the variable that we're using for the expression. So we have 2x. And 2x. The reason why we're writing it twice is because my highest degree is to the second power and I need 2 representations. Now, underneath is going to be the numbers that we just found, the 18 and the 1. One of them is going to go underneath that one, and the other one's going to go underneath that one. So we'll put the 18 underneath this 2x, and we put the 1 underneath that 2x. So now we have that 2x over 18 and 2x over 1. We can reduce this like a fraction. So the number that 2 and 18 both have in common is a 2. So 2 divided by 2 gives me 1. And 18 divided by 2 gives me 9. So you basically have your answer right now. So if I do, both of these parentheses both of these ratios is a parenthesis. Okay. So this first ratio is my first parenthesis. Start with the numerator, work your way down. So I have 1x over 9. So instead of 1x, I'm just going to put x. And since my 9 is positive, I put plus 9. So now I have my 2x over 1. So I have the 2x and then a positive 1. So this is my factors. Now, if you don't like fractions and you rather go the grouping route, we can do that as well. Okay? Once we get up to here, what you're going to do is you're going to take that 18 and that 1 and you're going to replace that middle term, that 19x. So it looks like this. I'm going to take it down here a little bit. So it's going to look like 2x squared. And instead of the 19, you're going to have a plus 18x and plus 1x. Okay. Then what goes the remaining plus 9? So after you do that, now we're going to group our first two terms and group our last two terms. Hence, that's why this method is called grouping. Okay, we group the first two, then we group the last two. All right, so now let's take a look. And I'm going to cover up one side. Let's take a look at this side. So I have 2x squared plus 18x. I know it doesn't look like an 18, but let me put it on the diagonal for us a little bit. 2x squared and 18x squared, they have a GCF. GCF means greatest common factor. So the number that 2 and 18 both have in common is 2. But for the variables, this is an x squared, that's an x. This is x squared is the same as saying x times x. And the 18 is just 1x. So they both have 1x in common. So how you get what remains is you take the original and you divide it by your GCF. So 2x squared divided by 2x gives me x. Because 2 divided by 2 gives me 1. If I have 2 x's and I take 1x out, I have 1x remaining. That's the x. Bring down my plus sign. 18 divided by 2 gives me 9. And x divided by x gives me nothing. Okay? So that means we have 2x times x plus 9. So that side is done. So we're going to do the same thing for this side. So we have a positive, so I'm going to put down my plus sign. Okay, whatever this leads with comes down. So now I have 1x plus 9. So with 1x plus 9, the only thing that 1 and 9 have in common is 1. So if I try to divide this parenthesis by 1, I'm going to get exactly the same, 1x plus 9. So once we get to that part, we come right here. So we have 2x times x plus 9 plus 1 times x plus 9. Hopefully you notice both sides have x plus 9 involved. That's your GCF of that line. We only have to write it down once. But what remains outside those parentheses, we're going to gather up and put in their own parenthesis. Okay? So if you take a look, both ways, one dealt with fractions, the other one dealt with grouping, you get the same answer. Okay? So you just have to figure out how you want to do it. Okay? And I know sometimes, especially for those that are still in class, you're probably saying, well, my teacher wants me to do it this way. Okay, do it this way. Because the teacher of record is the one that's grading you. Now, if you want to check your work because you understand this way, do it. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. All right? So, sorry I was like going on a mad tangent here. I see all these comments coming in here. All right? Well, it's all right, bro. Oh, smart lady. Hello, smart people. Oh, thanks. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. What number? What adds to that number? Yes, it is. That's it. All right. Thank you for the follows, you guys. Thank you for that. Hey, Wesley. Welcome in. Oh, everyone's coming out tonight. Alexandro's here. If you factor, yes, study for my calculus final. Can you show some trig integrals? Not tonight, dude, because trust me, I've been doing math all blessed day. Even when you're done, can I take snapshots of everything? It helps me as a visual learner. True, but I'm also be selling my stuff because now I need money. Because soon enough, I'm going to have to look to appreciate simplify it. No problem. Oh, hey, Danny. How are you? Okay. I might just grab whatever you can grab right now. Okay. So, sliding over. All right. So, we were doing that. Okay. But I definitely did not do one with a negative. I am tired, Danny. I am tired. I'm not even going to lie to you. But I'm here. So, I said I'm going to do something. I'm going to do it. Okay. Now, yesterday, I was a little discuffled, all kinds of Cuckoo Johnson. Totally forgot to do one when the leading coefficient was negative. Yes, more factoring. So here's one thing that I definitely want to say. Last time when we were just finding the GCF and there wasn't a plus or a minus sign in between. Okay, and I said there was a comma. So there was 3 separate factors. If you weren't here yesterday, just ignore me for right now. But there was a number. Actually, why don't I just show you? Instead of you do you remember? Do you remember what happened in 5th grade and you haven't been in school forever? No, you don't. Okay, this one up top here. Okay, and I was asking for the GCF. So we had 8x to the 3rd power, negative 4x squared, and 6x cubed. And then I asked everybody, all right, what's the GCF? And a lot of people were saying, oh, it's 2x squared. And I said, no. Because since these are 3 separate expressions, this negative is messing everything up. Okay? Now, I will be able to factor it if it was something like this and it had a negative and I wanted to pull it out because these are 3 separate terms for one expression, whereas these up here, these are 3 separate expressions, hence there's a comma in between. Okay, so this is why I can't really go into all of this. Okay. Yeah, so you can't just take out the negative because these are 3 separate expressions. If there was a plus sign or a minus sign in between them, yes, you can take out negatives. But if there are 3 separate areas, no, you can't. All right, thank you. Everybody's all right? Okay. All right, cool. So this is what we're going to be doing now. Now, what we need to do is we have 3 separate terms, but in one expression. And my leading coefficient is a negative. So I need to pull that negative out. So I'm going to put a -1 here. And what happens is I'm basically recopying everything, but I'm changing the sign. So instead of a negative 3/8 squared, it's going to be positive 3a squared. Instead of a negative 8a, it'll be a positive 8a. And instead of a negative 4, it's now going to be a positive 4. All right? So the negative 1, I used to call it my trifling butt friend, right? I just say another word, but you know, your trifling friend. Now, if you don't know about the trifling friend, let me explain to you. The trifling friend is the one that wants to go everywhere but never has money. The trifling friend is the one that, yo, let's drive around, and they're yelling out at people, trying to hit people up, trying to get phone numbers, but they have no car. They have no license. That's like, you know, and if you don't know who the trifling ass friend is, it might be you. I always say that. So the trifling ass friend is like Scrubs. You know, the song Scrubs by Destiny's Child. Yeah, there we go. All right. So we're not going to do anything with the trifling ass friend right now. We're going to work on what's inside the parenthesis. Okay, so we're going to see if we can factor this any further. This is what it means by factoring completely. So inside the parenthesis, I'm going to write what my A is, what my B is, and what my C is. All right, so my A is going to be a positive 3, my B is an 8, and my C is a 4. All right. Okay. So now we're actually going to multiply my A and my C and rewriting my B. So multiply my A and my C, that's 3 times 4. That gives me 12. Rewrite my B, which is 8. So now let's think. What two numbers multiplied together will give me 12 and add together to give me 8? Danny, you can't be that. Okay. Because we're always thinking of what two numbers multiplied together will give me this number and add together to get that one. So multiplication is always on top. Okay, so that never switches. All right. So we got 6 and 2, 6 and 2, 6 and 2, 2 and 6. We got 4, we got 2. The answer is 42. We got 6 and 2, 6 and 2. Good. So I can use positive 6 and positive 2 because 6 times 2 gives me 12. 6 plus 2 gives me 8. All right, so now this is where you decide where you want to go. Okay, you have to make this decision. I know where I'm going to go. I'm going to go with the fraction. But, okay, would you rather I do the fraction or the grouping? Okay, put it in the chat. You guys decide. Because right now I can't think for myself anymore. Why is this so relaxing? I try to make this atmosphere relaxing because a lot of people generally get stressed out. So I try not to. Okay, so I got fraction, fraction, fraction. Got one with grouping. Can we do both, please? My mind is blown right now. Right, so chime, you know, nice and easy. All right, so fraction-wise, let me swing this a little bit more. All right, so fraction-wise, we have two ratios. We write the A plus the variable that we're dealing with. So that means I'm writing 3A twice. Now, the two numbers that we found, each is going underneath the fraction. So we have a 6 and we have a 2. Okay. Yes, Bree. AC. See, you get it. All right. So Okay. Nope, this is all I'm doing because I'm going to get to my next part. All right, so now let us break down that radical. So 3a over 6. They both can be reduced by 3. So that means this 3 is now 1, and this 6 is now 2. 3a over 2, that's pretty much already simplified. So now we're coming into our 2 parentheses. So this first ratio is your first parenthesis. So what we had was 1a, or a, over 2, a positive 2. So that makes this a plus 2. And then my second parenthesis is going to be 3a over 2. So that means we have 3a plus 2. And those are your factors of the original. And I'm wondering if someone's going to catch me. Let's see. Okay. What's missing? Yes! I was like, I wonder if someone's going to catch you. Someone's going to catch you. Let's see. Don't forget about the try-finesse friend. See? All right. We have to remember to bring that -1 down. So it's -1 times a plus 2 times 3a plus 2. There you go. No scrubs. Danny, stop. Okay, good job. All right, so that's with the fraction. Now, same situation, but we're not going to do with the fractions. We're going to do by grouping. So if you recall, we started out with our 3a squared. And then we're going to write down the 2 factors that we got, which is my plus 6a plus 2a. Okay, now when you normally do this, you don't have to do it twice, okay? You just pick one of the 2 that best suits your personality. All right, so I bring my plus 4. All right. So now we're going to do grouping, hence the name. Okay, we're going to group the first 2 and then we'll group the last 2. Okay, so once we do this grouping, Bran, I'll see what I can do. Okay, Bran. Hey, Banks, how are you? All right, so now we're going to cover up. Okay, so I have 3a squared plus 6a. So what do we have in common? Danny's saying 3a. Do we agree with Danny? Yeah, we're not doing that. If Johnny had 3 apples, no, we're not doing that. Yes, good, Danny, yay. All right, so if we're taking 3a out, all right, we're going to divide. 3 divided by 3 gives me 1. We don't have to put the 1 because we still have our a's. We have a squared and we have an a. If we have 2 a's, we pull 1 a out. That means there's 1 a left. Bring down our plus sign. 6a divided by 3a. The a's are going to cancel out, okay, because we have an a. We pull an a out. There's no a's left. 6 divided by 3 gives me 2. All right, good. All right. So now, let's take a look. We have a plus sign. Let me cover this so it won't be too overwhelming. We bring our plus sign down. whatever this signage is right here, we bring it down. So even if it's a minus sign, bring down the negative, okay? So now we have 2a plus 4. What does 2a and 4 have in common? Pull out the 2. Good. It's 2. Nice. I like when I ask a question, its answer is already there. Beautiful. All right. So if I pull a 2 out, what remains? Danny, what we got here? Danny's saying a plus 2. All right. Good. Danny's saying 8 plus 2. Crystal says 8 plus 2. Welcome in, Crystal. I'm sorry I didn't say hi to you. Coming in. California! How are you? Love my 2s. All right. So we have a plus 2. Here you go. Here's another 2. Good job, Brand. Good. Vero! Oh my goodness. I haven't seen you in a minute. How are you? Well, thank you. All right, so everyone's good, fabulous, fancy 2s. I try. Yeah, how's my day? Insanity, California. Insanity. I'm trying not to curse. I think I've cursed so many times already, but I'm just trying to be conscious of it right now. God knows I'm a work in progress. Anywho, super easy. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Blessed RN. If any of you guys are here, oh my God, like 737 of you. Sweet. If you guys are thinking about going to nursing and you need help with your dosage calculations, make sure you hit her up. I always mention the people that I want you guys to follow at the end of this anyway. But since she's here, definitely hook her up. She has this great way with puzzle pieces trying to figure out what to do for the doses so you won't, kill someone. We want to kind of stay away from that as much as possible. All right. Okay. Good. All right. So here we go. Looking inside the parentheses, we got exactly the same thing. So that is our A plus 2. So let's just say that's my GCF. Now, the numbers that's outside of the parenthesis, we're going to make that their own parenthesis. So that'll be 3a plus 2. And as you can tell, no matter what you do, you get the same answer. Except, don't forget about your trifling ass friend. Look, you're going to be talking about this all day. Some of the ones that are actual students, you're going to be like, yeah, we got to do our trifling ass friend. Don't get suspended from school, okay? You can send them this information. I'm grown. I've done this before, okay? But don't be like, oh, I learned it, and she told me trifling ass good. And all of a sudden, everybody's suspended. I got no bail money. All right, so, hey, film artist, how are you? I'm just thinking to myself, right? Not a problem. Okay? All right, so that's what we were working on yesterday. That and when A was equal to 0. All right, so we're going to ease it up a little bit. Okay, just want to prepare you. This section is going to be a little bit easier. All right, so let me get to, okay. This one, if you understand your squares, and I don't mean like a shape of a square. So what I mean by your perfect squares, okay? So when I'm talking, you want to kind of think about your perfect squares for this moment. So what I mean by perfect squares, so I'm talking about like 1 squared, that'll give me 1. 2 squared, that'll give me 4. 3 squared, 9, 4 squared, 16, 5 squared. I'm just going to put a few of these up here so you have it. So plus it gives me something to kind of refer to. I didn't think about doing it until just now. You can tap while I'm doing this, I know. I hate begging for taps. It's like, like just tap already, people. Like this is like huge content that you're getting for free. Like, dude, I don't know how I'm going to pay my mortgage next month, but you guys are getting free information. K. Smith, exactly. I know. Appreciate it, man. All right. But when I'm talking about the difference, this is key. This is the key word. You know what? I'm highlighting it. Okay. Difference. Difference means subtraction. Okay. If you weren't too sure, let me go to my handy dandy listing over here. All right, so making a reference to different operations. If we come here, we got difference of, okay? Difference means subtraction, not addition. Please keep that in mind as I go through this quick lesson. So when I'm saying we need to find the difference, so let's start el simple. So I have x squared minus 25. I told you I'm going to start simple. So x squared minus 25. Getting free info and comedy. Where can you buy this book? It's on Amazon. You can actually get it off of my website and it'll take you directly to a link on Amazon. Yep. Yes. There's something close, Danny. Something's slightly missing. Something slightly missing. Okay. Now, since we got the difference of two squares, I know that 25, let me see if I can angle it this way. I know that 25 is a result of one of my perfect squares. Okay. So I know what will give me 25 is 5 times 5. So if I want to, I can set up my two parentheses. I can split my x's up because my leading coefficient is 1, just like I did yesterday for those that saw. So we got x times x. 25 is 5 times 5. All right? But I'm not looking at a positive 25. I'm looking, there you go, Pog, and Brown Heart, and okay. I'm looking at a negative 25. What would give me a negative? Okay, what would give me a negative number? Yes, K. Smith, you can use my name, Audrey Codner. What gives me a negative? What's the rules? How do I get a negative number? Through multiplication. There you go, TT. Thank you. Okay. One has to be positive and the other one has to be negative. Okay. So in order for me to factor out this difference of two squares, because the number in front of the x is a 1, 1 times 1, the x squared can be split up as x and x, and the 25 is 5 and 5. But in order for me to get a negative, one has to be positive and one has to be negative. And it doesn't matter which one goes which. This could have been a negative 5 and this could have been a positive 5. Okay. Hello, Lisa. Okay. All right. So this is the reason. Yes, Pog. You're right into me. You're in my brain. You're in my brain. Okay, this is the reason why. Because if I combine my terms here in the center and I combine my terms on the ends, 5 times x gives me 5x. Negative 5 times x gives me negative 5x. When I add these two terms together, that will give me 0x or just 0. And that's what's happening here. You have an A and you have a C, but you do not have a b value. There's no just a plain x in it, okay? Just like what Pog says, if you guys can look at close to the middle end, he says the middle term is 0, okay? All right, so let's do another one. So, I don't want to get too cray-cray just yet. It's coming, but I don't want to get too cray-cray. I'm looking at my notes and I'm like, not yet. Not yet, Audrey. Not yet. All right, so let's see. Let's do this one. All right, let's keep with the 5s. Let's see if we can get this. So we got 25x squared minus 4. Okay, I'm going to try to leave the other one up there so you can use as an example. Okay. Oh, good. Aw, that's sweet. I'm so glad I could stimulate your minds a little bit. A little bit of factoring. All right. Okay. All right. Want to make sure I'm not missing a whole lot of stuff. Okay. Try to put the answers in. California, I just saw your comment, but you got no bail money out there. Sorry, I'm a little slow today. Oh my goodness. All right. All right, Brand is saying 5x plus 2 and 5x minus 2. Do we agree? Okay, so film artist is saying yes. I'm making sure I'm not skipping anybody. Okay, Orlando, how are you? Haven't seen that name in a while. Okay, oh, everyone's coming. Alton, okay, everyone's out tonight. What's going on? All right, so 25 is a perfect square root, so we got 5 and 5. X squared is a perfect square. We got x and x. 4 is a perfect square. We got 2 and 2. But it's not a positive 4. It's a negative 4. So that means one has to be positive and the other one has to be negative. In order for it to be 5x plus, say, plus 2 squared, that means both of the signs are exactly the same in order for it to be raised to the second power. Because I saw a couple of those. Oh, thank you. Yes, I know, right? Just a little review, something relaxing. Okay, so this is your answer. All right, let me step it up just a little bit. Just a hair. Everybody's like, no, we know your step-ups, girl. Your step-ups is like monumental. No, you'll be fine. I think you guys are getting a lot smarter because a lot of you guys are putting in your answers so much quicker than normal, which is fabuloso. Let's try this. I don't know. I feel you guys can handle it. I'm really curious. You're probably like, nope. No, come on, just look at it. Look at it and look at what we've been doing. Yes, Kathy. So you're always looking for the perfect squares. So you cover in Algebra 1. Oh, Bran. Oh, let's see. What else did I cover? My brain. Graphing equations, system of equations, system of inequalities, solving inequalities, finding slope, algebraically, graphically, numerically, verbally. Matrix, we actually did matrices the other day. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see what else we do. Completing the square. I think we also did geometric sequences, arithmetic sequences, exponents, almost everything. And I threw in some geometry stuff as well. Okay. So you're seeing 7b squared. Ooh. 3D. Okay. Put it all together, love. Put it all together. Go over completing the square. I will be going over completing the square this week. Definitely. I can't remember if it's like Tuesday or Wednesday. But it will be, I only go in the evenings now. So that's what I'm doing. Go and do statistics. I did probability. That was the other thing I did. I knew it was something else. To plug into graph and cal. Okay. All right, Kai. Do you cover theorems? Some of them, not too much, because usually it goes over people's heads and they're just like, and I'm done, Joe. And you're like, wait, come back. It's not that bad. All right. Not too shabby, guys. Not too shabby. All right, so we have our two parentheses. Okay, the square root of 49 will give me my 7, because 7 times 7. This is the part that I was like, let me see if people can do it. Oh my gosh, yeah, and that was ridiculous, right? I'm trying to work on my next notebook. Like, this is a notebook that I designed. My next notebook I'm trying to do for geometry, so that's my summer project. And trust me, I'm ready to cry. I'm like, why did I do this to myself? Now, if we're going to split, in a sense, our b's, to split them evenly, that'll be b squared here, and this will be a b squared here. Okay? Then we have our 3D. Ooh, that was a sad looking 3. And then we have our 3D. But since it's a -9, we're going to make one positive and one negative. How are you guys feeling? Oh, I know. There's so many topics with Algebra 1s. Okay. I do try to put some word problems in here once in a while. But sometimes I feel like, let's get with the concepts before I can do all that. Okay? I try. Would you find 49 to the 4th power? No. You will still just take the squares, because, let me put it off to the side here for a second. If I take the look of b to the 4th, b to the 4th is the same as saying the square root of b squared times the square root of b squared. Now, the thing about squares and square roots, they're inverses of each other. They cancel out. So what's left will be b times b. And b times b is just another way of saying b squared. That's the long version of it. The shorter version of it is, when I have b to the 4th, I can say that I have a base of b, and then my exponent will be my degree, which is 4, over the type of root, which is a square root, which is 2. 4 divided by 2 will give me 2. This is a rule dealing with rational exponents. Okay. So either way, you're going to get, you're going to get the same as that. Yes, it's definitely been a while. We skipped quadratic functions because we're running out of time. Gotcha. We have like 4 terms to cover in a month. I know. I hate when they do that. I had such a struggle understanding this and solving it. Thank you. Radicals was needed. Yes. Okay. Second is better in my opinion because it helps the future classes. It does for the calculus. But sometimes we got to take baby steps, Alton. I'm telling you, I would love to. And that's why I like to show multiple ways of doing things because not everyone learns exactly the same way. So I know there's tons of other places. If this is not the spot for you, you think I'm going way too slow and you're like, boo, I know I can go faster doing something else. Please go scroll. I love you, but there's some people that math is such a thing that people are breaking out in hives. I've had students do that. I've had students that basically lose their minds, literally flipping stuff and all kinds of stuff. And I had students that just completely shut down. But I believe that everyone can learn math, so I tried to break it down step by step. Okay? All right? Not a problem. Yeah. Because I know there's so many levels, there's so many different things, and we all just got to face facts with that. All right, so let me give you one, okay, because I wasn't going to stay on this topic too much because I want to spend more time with factoring completely, okay? So let's go with, let me see what you can do with this. And I know you're going to be like, what, girl? I'm like, but give it a try. It's going to be a little bit of getting ourselves ready for the next part. I'm kind of curious what you can do. Just give it a try. And after, let's say, a minute and a half, that's when I want you to put your answers up. Okay, so give it a try amongst yourselves. Don't put your answers in. If you feel tempted that you have to type it in, type it, but don't hit send yet. Okay, I really want everyone to give a chance to give this a try. Okay, not a problem. Oh yeah, I've done piecewise functions too. Well, welcome, Joe. Jolynn, welcome in. Okay, Huss, you can do this. You got it. All right, give it. Yep. Just resist the urge to put your answers down. Do not just yet. Okay, in about 10 seconds, I'm going to show our answers. And remember, question marks is an answer as well. Okay? But don't put it at the end of your answer. Be confident with your answer. But if you're just like, I have no idea, you can put a question mark. Okay? All right? That's all right, Michael. That is perfectly fine. All right, go ahead and put your answers up. Let's see. And I appreciate your honesty. Sandy, I appreciate your honesty. Yes, Bree, I appreciate your honesty. X in the first term. Us. Okay, my answer is you're crying. Kathy! Don't cry. cry. Okay, hi society. Thank you for sharing the lives. I appreciate it. It's okay, guys. It's all right. And I love how I put this problem up and all of a sudden like 100 people left. It's okay, guys. Come back. Just like all beat up. I've been violent. No, you're fine. You're fine. All right. So let's take a look. Now, I always like to say, anytime they say anything about factoring, okay, they just say factor this, factor that. Okay, your first step should always be ask yourself this question: do I have a GCF? Okay, do I have something in common? All right, I notice that we have some negatives. So let's factor out my trifling friend. Now, do they have anything else in common? Okay, that's probably why. Because I probably screwed up. I did screw up. I am so sorry. I'm making people cry and have breakdowns, and I'm over here screwing up. I'm sorry, guys. This is supposed to be an X. I am so sorry. They're like, what? Oh, now it makes sense. I am so sorry. People are, yes, because the only thing, if I left it like that, the only thing they had in common was the -1. And so it is kind of factorable, but all I would have to do is factor out a -1. That A was supposed to be an X. This is my life right now. I can't have days like this anymore. Makes more sense, Jason? I am so sorry. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, everyone. I am so sorry. Oh, gracious. Okay. All right. So now I can kind of ease you into it. If we factored out the -1, I know there's something else out there. But if we did factor out the -1, it would have been x to the 5th plus 9x to the 6th. But there is something else that we can factor out. What is it? Huss a little bit close. Brand, there we go. Okay. Okay. All right. So there's x to the 5th. That means there's 5 x's. X times x times x times x times x. Here's x to the 6th. There's 6 x's. So what do they have in common? Is -1 x to the 5th. All right. So we did have a GCF. All right. What remains when I take out that -1 x to the 5th? What remains? Oh, thank you, Dr. Casey. Appreciate it. I needed to hear that today. Thank you. I really did. Whew. Okay. Right. Okay, so if I take x to the 5th out, there we go. All right, Alton, we got 1, and we got plus 9x. Okay. Okay. So first we started off the x to the 5th and the 9x to the 6th were both negative. So I can factor out that -1, all right? So now I looked, once I factored that out, I looked inside the parenthesis and I can factor it even more because what they both had in common was x to the 5th, all right? So once I factor out that x to the 5th, and put it with my -1, what was left was 1, because x to the 5th, if I have 5 x's, I take 5 x's out, I don't have anything left except for the 1. That has to be a place value, not a 0, because x to the 5th divided by x to the 5th gives me 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. All right? So now we only took out the x to the 5th. So that 9 stays where it is. There was 6 x's here. We took 5 of them out. That means there's 1 x that remains. All right? So now inside this parenthesis, I cannot combine the 1 and the 9x. They're not like terms. Okay? That 9 has an x attached to it. The 1 does not. So this is when all the shenanigans may stop. All right? So this is going to lead us into the next part, which is factoring completely. Okay? Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it. All right? All right, you do the same, Devin. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate that. Vaseline user, that is hilarious. But thank you for sharing the live. Arthur, why are you Othello? Othello? I want to say Arthur. Oh, live. Arthur, why are you Othello? Othello? I want to say Arthur. Oh. Why are you failing this class? What's going on? It's okay. Why do you say that you're failing this class? All right, you're fine. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of just write the words factor completely, because I don't want to waste any more pages. Completely. Okay, so we are going to factor completely. All right, so like I said, we're going to always ask yourself the very first question. Do you have a GCF? So we have 2x squared minus 8x minus 10. Do I have a GCF? Okay, dos. Thank you. Gracias. They have 2 in common. Good. 2, question mark. Good. 2. 303, Marianne. Good job. All right. So we do have a GCF of 2. So when we factor out that 2, what remains? Okay, if we factor out the 2, what remains? Let's use the quadratic formula. No, because this can be factored completely. I know the quadratic formula will make it easier, which I will be doing quadratic formula. I think that's tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. All right. So Brand's saying we got an x squared minus a 4x minus 5. Do we agree? Well, I hope so, because it's in pen. It's a little late for me. Yes, -4. There you go. Nice. Good. All right. Professor. Yes. Good. All right. Now, most people be like, all right, cool. We got the GCF. It's completely out. Yay, we're done. No. Now, you need to take a look inside the parenthesis to see if this is factorable. So, just looking out, we have to do our AC. My A is what's in front. My C is here. My leading coefficient is 1, so it makes it so much easier. That means my AC is going to be -5. And my B, that's going to be -4. So now we need to think. What two numbers multiplied together will give me a -5 and add together to give me a -4? Yeah, so -5 and 1, 1 and -5. AC means my leading coefficient, which is my A, and my C, which is my constant. If I multiply those two together, it will give me my -5. Okay, yes. So if we have -5 times 1, that means this can be factored even further. We bring down our trifling friend, and we're setting up our two parentheses. Split our x's, and then we're putting the two numbers that we found, which is a -5 and a +1. And it doesn't matter which one goes first. If you want to put x plus 1 here and x minus 5 there, that's perfectly fine. Because after you do the multiplication to get the original, it'll give you the same answer. But don't forget the trifling friend. All right. So always ask yourself, first question, do I have a GCF? Okay. I kind of put together something, very rough sketch, very rough. I might be able to fit it in later on. So first question, do I have a GCF? Then I ask myself, do I have 2 terms? Do I have 3 terms? Or do I have 4 terms? 2 and 4 terms are pretty easy. Okay. If I have 2 terms, are they perfect squares? Okay. Do I need to factor it any further than just the GCF? Okay. 4 terms, I always ask myself, okay, do I have a GCF? Yes, no, I got still 4 terms, I'm doing grouping. But if it's 3 terms, after I pull out the GCF, which that's what we did here, okay, all right, I got trinomials. Does a trinomial has a leading coefficient of 1 or not 1? Okay, like you said, we could do the quadratic formula to solve this bad boy. Or if it's an equals, we'll do completing the square. But basically quadratic formula. Okay? Or AC method. Let me correct this. Told you it's been a day. Let me correct this. Let me change this to AC method. That's why I didn't put it in my book yet. Okay? So this will kind of give you an idea of what happens. 30 years ago, you needed me. They use software. Okay, so Rebecca, you had a question. Let me go back. So many things are flashing. Okay, what about when the equations equal to 0? Yes, I know. Bran asked me about that too. It's coming. Okay. All right, so it is coming. So let's try another one. Maybe I'll just add this to make it equal 0. Let's just do that because I have a feeling a lot of people are in need. That's why I'm here. Not just because of my cute personality. All right, so let me make this expression into an equation. So, Brand, you listening? Who's the other one? Rebecca! You're listening? These are for you. It's really for everyone, but here we go. R squared minus 30r equals 0. Okay? So now, right now, we're not dealing with an expression. we're dealing with an equation. Okay, the difference between an expression and an equation is you got an equal sign. I know, your mind's completely blown. I know, it's crazy. But that's what happened. So when it comes down to solving this, you're going to worry about factoring. Okay, again, I look at my highest degree, I notice all of them has an R. So that's telling me right off the bat, hey, Audrey, you have a GCF. All right. Thank you, Bran. What is my GCF? Okay. Divide by negative 3R. Thank you, Bog. So you got a negative 3R. My leading coefficient is negative, so we have to pull the negative out, okay? Then all of them has an R. The lowest R is just R to itself. Then we have 3, 21, and 30. The number that all three of them have in common is 3, all right? Could never. So what we're gonna do, what goes inside the parenthesis, is when you take your original and divide it by negative 3R. So a negative divided by negative will be a positive. That's the whole point of pulling the negative out. Then this will give me R squared. 21 divided by negative 3 gives me a negative 7. R squared divided by R will give me R. And negative 30 divided by negative 3 gives me a positive 10. And then R divided by R will give me 1. And 1 times 10 is 10. Okay, good. Not with, yeah. All right. What if the equation was set to negative 5 instead of 0? Then you have to make it equal a 0. So if this was a negative 5, that means after you factor or before you factor, you will have to, if it was a negative 5, you have to add 5 on both sides. Every time you do, not a problem. Time for dinner? Yeah, you probably hear my stomach growling over here. Well, enjoy your dinner and hopefully I'll see you again. So anytime you're dealing with quadratics, your equation has to equal 0. The only time it doesn't equal 0 is when you're completing the square. That's the only time when you're dealing with quadratics. Really. That's it. All right. But any other time, it has to equal 0. So you got to make it equal 0 before you can do anything. All right. So now we factored out our GCF. But look inside that parenthesis. This can be broken down again. All right. Tara's telling me R minus 2 and R minus 5. Ooh, let's see. Thank you, Tara. Okay, we bring down our negative 3R. Don't forget about bringing down the negative 3R, though, just in case. Enzo. All right. Thank you, Enzo. Thank you, Pod. Good job, guys. All right. Leading coefficient is 1, so that means I can split my R's. Now I'm looking here at my C. This is just like doing the cross. Okay, if you want me to do the cross, I'll do the cross. You know, we want to keep everything kosher. All right. So my A and my C, that would give me 10. Rewrite my B, which is a negative 7. So we need to think, what two numbers multiply will give me a negative 10 and add to give me a negative 7. So positive 10, 5 and 2, but we need a negative 7. All right, so we need a negative 7. We're not going to have a 0. We're not going to have we are going to have 3 solutions. We are. So make this negative, make that negative. So this makes it a -5, and this is a -2. But don't forget, now we are in an equation. So we're going to have it equal 0. Okay, are we okay so far? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of great answers. Good job, guys. Oh, hey, Kim. J-Ski, how are you? Hey, Neek. Thank you for coming in. Oh, look at you, Neek, Neek, Neek. All right, film artist, I love it. I see so many like, yes, yes, yes. Geraldine, how are you? Yes, Pog. I'm telling you, you don't want to be in my mind. So now we have 1, 2, 3 factors. And I knew we were going to have 3 factors because my highest degree was to the 3rd power. This, your highest degree, will tell you how many solutions you're going to have with an equation. So now we're going to set each of these factors to equal 0. So this is when the color changes come into play. So we have -3r equals 0. We have r minus 5 equals 0. And I need another color. I need to expand on my colors, man. This is sad. And then we have r minus 2 equals 0. All right. So for the first one to equal 0, that means I need to divide by -3. So -3 divided by -3 will give me 1r, or just r. And then 0 divided by -3 will give me 0. So that's one of our solutions, which I'm going to explain what a solution is. Then, for this one, to get r by itself, we need to add 5. Both sides of the equal sign. So now I have r is equal to 0 plus 5, which gives me 5. And lastly, we need to add 2. So we get r is equal to +2. So ladies and gentlemen, what you have found is you're not gripping this at all? Why? No. Must be one of those nights. I feel you. Trust and believe. Okay, it's okay. All right. But what you just found are where your graph will cross the x-axis, aka the x-intercepts. Okay? Aka they're called the roots, or sometimes they're called the solutions, or sometimes they're called the zeros. So if you see anything, let me actually write that down so you guys can have it. All right, so the many names of this. Sometimes they're called your roots, your x-intercepts, your solutions, your zeros. Ooh, that's a crazy looking R. Okay. These are the many names that you will get. So sometimes when they throw a test question out there and they said, oh, find your roots. And then the next question they'll say, find your zeros. Or sometimes down the road they'll be like, oh, find your solutions. And you're like, is this 3 separate things? No, it's not. Okay. Just so you kind of have a notion of what exactly is going on. Okay. So this is like late Algebra 1, believe it or not. Okay. All right. You do the same thing, Jason. Thank you so much for stopping in. Appreciate you. Uncle Rico, does the number of solutions always match the number of times the variable is in the equation, not the number of times it's in the variable, it's your highest exponent, Uncle Rico. Okay? All right, it's whatever your highest exponent is, that's how many solutions you're going to have. Okay? All right, well, thank you. Thank you, 303, Marianne. Aw, I try. Okay, so back to you, me Henry. All right, so first thing you ask yourself, do you have a GCF? Which they had a negative 3r. So once you have that negative 3r, you divide the original by that negative 3r. Goodness. All right, what remained was inside the parenthesis. So once we figure out what was inside the parenthesis, we basically factored, just like we did last night or the night before. We found my leading coefficient was 1, so I can go ahead and split my r's. Then I had to ask myself the question, what two numbers multiplied together will give me 10, but add together to give me a negative 7? So we had to look at our multiples of 10. All right, let's do it this way. All right, so if we look at 10s, we have 1 and 10 and 2 and 5. All right, if I add 1 and 10 together, that's going to give me 11. If I do 2 and 5, that will give me 7. But since I'm looking for a negative 7, that means both of them has to be negative, because a negative times a negative gives me a positive. Okay, all right. This is kind of like a little bit of college algebra, you know, just a little bit in there. All right, so now once we figured that out, we already split our r's, put negative 5 in one parenthesis, negative 2 in the other, and now we have 1, 2, 3 terms, or 3 products, I should say, excuse me, that's going to be equal to 0. So this is where it kind of advanced up. We're no longer just factoring. Where's my paper? I lost my paper somewhere in the midst of all this. Okay, so we're no longer just factoring. And we're like, okay, we're done. Now we're trying to solve for what r is in each of these products. So that means we're going to set the negative 3r to equal 0. We're going to have r minus 5 equals 0. And we're going to have r minus 2 equals 0. All right. So now we're solving for r for each of these products. Now we got 3 mini equations. So what we did was negative 3r, since there's not a plus or a minus sign in between the 3 and the r, that means you're doing multiplication. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So I had to divide negative 3 on both sides. 0 divided by negative 3 gives me 0. All right, so then focus on this one. Keep your eyes. Focus on this one. So now we got r minus 5 equals 0. So we want to get r by itself. So we had to add 5 on both sides. So now we got r is equal to 5. All right, and then the last one, r minus 2 equals 0. So we had to add 2 on both sides. So we got r is equal to 2. Okay, so you have 3 solutions, or roots, or x, you know, the different names of it. And the reason why I know I was going to have 3 before I got started is because my highest degree, yep, I got a new problem for you in a second. My highest degree is to the 3rd power. Okay. All right. So let's try another one, and we're going to continue on with the solving. All right. So, factoring completely. All right, let's see. I don't know if I want to go that complicated. Yeah, we'll go this route. We'll go this route. So 5x squared plus 10x minus 15 equals 0. Okay, I'm going to try to keep the previous one up so you can use it as a reference. So before you start, in the chat right now, how many solutions should I have? Okay, how many solutions should I have? Put it in the chat. Okay, Thinking Core says 2. Okay, there we go. 2. Neek, 2. Another mother, 2. Pog, 2. 2 roots of 0. Good. Addie, how are you? 2. Ermi, sorry. 2. Good. Rhonda, hello. Welcome in. 2. Lily, yes. 2. My lovely sign, yes. 2. Excellent. All right. So the first question you should ask yourself is, do I have a GCF? Okay. Let me leave you for a moment. I'm going to chime in about a minute. I just want you to get your thoughts together. There we go. So Thinking Core says 5. Says 5. Yeah, Neek says 5. My lovely symbol says 5. Good. All right. What goes inside the parenthesis when you factor out your 5? Yep. True, Thinking Core. Nice, Pog. Okay, welcome in everyone else. Here we go. Come and join the fun. Okay. What's missing, Neek? What's missing? Okay, lovely symbol. Yes. Yes. There you go. There you go. Yes. Good. All right. Lovely. Good job, guys. So if you divide everything by 5, you're going to have x squared plus 2x minus 3. Now, we're going to take a look inside. Okay, perfect. Tomorrow. No stress, no pressure. No, you're going to be fine. Okay. Now, inside this parenthesis, it can be factored. So I'm going to put it off to the side here. I know my AC is going to be -3. And my B is going to be 2. So when my leading coefficient is 1, sorry, it's a little complicated. Okay, I've got my -3 and 2. So I have to think, what two numbers multiply will give me -3 and add together to give me 2. Okay, good. Yes, got x's in both of the parentheses. And no, this is not the quadratic formula. This is actually just factoring completely. Really kind of like a little bit of the AC method. Okay, so I see 3 and -1. I see 3, -1, 3, -1, 1 and 3. Okay, you got it. Good. +3, -1. Oh, all day. Ella Ray, how are you? I haven't seen you in a minute. How's life? Okay, so we got our 3 and 1. All right, good, nice. So we have plus 3 minus 1. Okay, good, Rhonda. Nice, 3, negative 1, good. Yep, and then whatever you find with their signs will go inside the parenthesis. Yes. All right. So now we're not done. If we were just factoring, there wasn't an equal sign, yes, done. Okay, move on with our lives. But because we have this equals 0, okay, we need to set everything equal to 0. And you're probably like, well, everything, Audrey? Yes. Okay, so that means this 5. Yeah, even that. We're setting the 5 equal to 0. I know, just work with me. There's a method to my madness. Then we have x plus 3 equals 0. And not lastly, but we have x minus 1 equals 0. Now, so, can 5 equal 0? I know, right? Can 5 equal 0? No. So 5 can't equal 0. So I'm going to put a line through it. 5 does not equal 0. Okay? Not a root, nothing. Okay? So now, we're going to focus on, let's find my little sheets of paper, so we don't need to look at that anymore. So now we're going to focus on this one. X plus 3 equals 0. So in order for us to get x by itself, I have to do the opposite. So I see plus 3, I'm going to minus 3 on both sides. So that gives me x is equal to negative 3. There's one of my solutions. Okay, yeah. Nope, we don't have to do any roots. Nope, no roots. What am I teaching today, Patty? I am factoring completely. So there's a little bit of almost forgot what it is. Greatest common factor. It's starting out to be that type of night. I'm doing a little bit of that as well as a little bit of AC method. So it's a little hodgepodge of factoring. So in order for me to get rid of the minus 1, I had to add 1. So now I have x is equal to 1. So these are my two solutions. Okay? How are you taking negative 3 from 0? So 0 minus 3 is still going to be negative 3. All right? Not a problem. So x equals both? Yes. Christina, yes. Because what's happening, and I'm going to use part of my little paper here. Because what's happening, your graph is going to cross the x-axis at 2 spots. So let's just say, I'm just going to use my line here and use my line here. And I'm just going to do a rough sketch. So they're saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So they're saying I have an x value at negative 3. And I have an x at 1. All right. My leading coefficient is a positive 5. So when it's positive, that means my graph is going to open up like a cup. I'm just doing a rough sketch here. Okay. So what you're finding is where your graph crosses the x-axis. So then how do you find the y? If you want to find the y, you plug in your answers for x into your original equation. That's how you find your y. But since right now it's equal to 0, that's what your y is. Your y is going to be 0. Okay? But if it was equal to something else, or if it just had y in there, then you would plug in your x's. What is the middle point of the axes, or is that what we're trying to find? The middle point of the axes? Do you mean the vertex, Christina? I'm trying to think. Divide everything by the first number, so everything will be divided by 3. You could divide everything. Or you could just factor it, because that's what the GCF, because that's what's going to end up anyway. It's kind of like, it's almost like a throwaway. So if you wanted to divide everything by 5, it'll still give you this. You'll still factor it. This won't be one of your trifling friends, because 5 doesn't equal 0. So you can say that, Genesis. Oh, okay. So right now, finding your vertex is slightly different because I'm just focusing on the factoring. So I'm not so much graphing it. But if I were to look for my vertex, remember you would have to use your negative b over 2a to find your x-axis of the vertex. And then you would plug it back into the equation to find the y-axis. But right now we're just factoring. Okay. How do you know when to use the quadratic formula? You can always use, if you have something that's raised to the second power, the highest degree to the second power, you can use quadratic formula. Thank you, Pog. I was like, yeah, I think it is negative 15. Yeah, because if I plug 0 in. But see, it's an equation. It's kind of weird. Well, I was just studying this for my test tomorrow. It's crazy. If you have questions, this is the time to ask. Could you pull your graph, please? Now, this graph is not accurate. I just wanted to show the solutions, the x-intercepts. That's all I've used this graph for. So this is nowhere near accurate. Please do not do that. Still come out to be the same thing. Yep. Okay, what grade math is this? This is Algebra 1. Okay. Love math. Oh, good, Rhonda. Yes. Yep, so it's like Algebra 1. Some revisiting Algebra 2. That's the one thing I love about math. It keeps spiraling. You're never just one and done with it. Okay? It always comes back. All right. Okay. All right. So, who has a test tomorrow? Gianna, you have a test tomorrow. What else do you have, Gianna? Or I think Brand probably got what he needed. Yeah, Calculus 1. Woof. Oh, you're taking the PERT as well? Tomorrow? All right. Well, good luck. See, here's my thing. When it's time for you to take these assessments, is it your first time taking the test? You're welcome. Is this your first time taking the test? Because usually when you guys, the first time that you're taking the test, you're going to be nervous. No, you're fifth? Okay, not a problem. Oh, don't be worried about that, because I took the praxis for me to be a teacher 11 times. Okay? Math is not my thing at all. Yes. Oh, you're back? Okay. Now, did you see the instruction, Brand, or did you miss everything? because I will seriously find you. TikTok might ban me for what I was about to say next. But if anything, take your time with the test. There's going to be some things that you're going to know. You know it, you put your answer down, don't celebrate, keep moving. Because the time that you spend, the less time that you spend on that question, you can use that time for other questions. Okay, so usually when you take those type of tests with the algebra, look at what the question is asking you to do. Take a look at your answer choices, especially if it's multiple choice, and do process of elimination. So if they, by chance, I'm just going to throw something up. Okay, I'm going to raise this up so, Bran, you can write those things down. But if they give you something like, it won't be something simple like this, but constant. Okay, it may not be something as simple as this, but if they give you an equation line, because there's going to be a lot of equations in line. There's going to be system of equations in there. There's going to be adding, subtracting fractions, what have you. If they ask you, okay, and they give you all these different types of graphs, like say they give you one graph that's like going upwards, another graph that's going downwards, another graph that's constant, another graph that's just like points everywhere, right? How you can tell is this part right here. This is your slope, okay? This is your slope. Your slope is negative, and we read it from left to right. So if you got a negative slope, look for something that's going to give you a negative slope or a negative answer. If it's between two answers that both of them said negative and they say very similar, that's when you look at the y-intercept. Because when you take these tests, it's all about doing process of elimination. They don't want you to memorize everything. They just want to see, do you know what a slope is? Okay? So like for this example here that we just did, how many solutions are you going to have? All of you said 2 because the highest degree is to the second power. So that means if you see something with 3 answers, that's not it. Just cross it out, eliminate it, keep it moving. All right. Then if you could figure out, all right, one of my solutions is x plus 3. If it's going to be opposite, remember, it's always opposite what you see inside the parenthesis. So if I see an x plus 3, that means my answer should be a negative 3. And if you notice, all of them have different numbers except for one has a negative 3. That's your answer. Okay, so process of elimination is going to help you. I don't want you to sit here reading books after books and memorizing. You can only understand math through practice. Okay, you have to practice it. But when it comes to assessments, it's going to be a little different way of perceiving it. Do you have a set of videos for Math GED that you recommend? Sure, mine's that I did. I know, that was a shameless plug. Yeah, I've created a course for all the math components that's going to be on GED. I used to teach the course 3 years now. Good gracious. No, longer, 4 years ago. I was teaching a GED course for a nonprofit. Loved it. And I think 4 people from the program that actually sat down and took the test. You would love to see people come to class each and every single solitary day. And when it's time for them to take the test, won't take it. Because it's the fear. It's the fear of what happens if I don't pass it. And I'm like, at least take it one time so you can get the experience of it. Once you get the experience of it, if you pass it, great. If you don't pass it, what did you miss? And then guess what? You got a person here that can help tweak your thinking, and they'll tell you, sign up for the test again. And it's like, well, you only can get so many chances. I'm like, yeah, take the chance, right? All right. So I need your course. Definitely. Hey, if anything, message me. Send me a direct message tonight, because I have to get you guys set up. And then on top of it, if you want, because as you take the course, again, I'd go through stuff step by step. So after you take the course and there's like certain parts of it that you're like, ooh, I don't know, I don't understand, I do give a discounted tutoring session, a completely discounted tutoring session to help you with it. Okay. So as long as you are dedicated to it, definitely. Okay. So please, if you really want my my courses, because I have one for algebra, especially if you have a child that's going to go into high school math next year, or even if it's you're thinking about going to get a college degree and you have to take intermediate math and you just want more of like a step-by-step just to kind of shake the cobwebs off before you take your course, this will be the perfect course for you. And then when you go to the class, you're like, oh, okay. But if you ever get stuck, you got someone that you can go to. All right. And plus it's self-paced. So it's going to be up to you. It's going to be up to you. And then when you get stuck, you have someone that you can contact. And then we'll set up an appointment and then we'll do it and get it over and done with. Okay. Well, not over and done with, but you know what I'm saying. So I have one for GED. I have one for Accuplacer. I have one for ASVAT, as well as for students that are going back to school and they just need a refresher. Okay. In addition to all of that, if you love, because I'm going to wrap up because I'm starting to feel myself swaying, getting a little crazy. All right. So my website, if you click on my face for the profile, my website is actually on my profile, is acgmathtutoring.com. If you like the notebooks that I have here, that keeps me organized and everything, these are not templates. This is exactly what I made, because I got sick and tired of all my students that I currently have not taking notes. And then they're asking me, what's the formula for that again? And I'm like, oh, sweet baby Jesus, please let me figure something out. Same thing with multiplication. A lot of our kids do not know how to use that multiplication chart on the back of the composition book. They don't. You can buy it. You can design it. They have no clue. But when I put it as a factor chart, they totally get it. Because not only do they use it for just multiplication, you can use it for factoring or breaking down, simplifying radicals. We did it with factoring. Okay, so, and this goes up to 1 to 200. I designed this for 7th graders to adults. Most multiplication charts will stop to like maybe 100. Okay, so got that in there. Also, the rules of integers, okay, through addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We got the operations, like we showed you, with the difference of the traditional wordage or terminology that people will use for word problems. We're looking at linear and quadratic equations. We experience ourselves with the quadratic in standard form. And then also you have regular slope, equation line, order of operations, being in the United States or international. Same concepts, but different terminology. Then the properties of exponents, as well as looking at volume and surface area, area of a sector, arc length, okay, circumference, as well as Pythagorean theorem, anything that's trig function. I have some more stuff that has to go in here, as well as a unit circle. And then, like most students, everyone gets overwhelmed, and sometimes we just need a brain break. So there's a couple brain break sections in here as well. So 100 pages. I know my pages, I write rather big because I'm displaying this information to you guys. But if I write a little bit smaller, you have the dotted sides, which gives you formula section, as well as parts where you can write your steps down. So if I was looking at parallel and perpendicular lines, you have your formula, and then I have my steps to help keep trace, especially when you have like open notes quizzes. All your information is right smack in there. Okay. Yes. Before I end the line. Before she ends it. Oh, well, thank you guys. Yes, it will be. Hi, Tilted. Tilted Halo. I love her name. Yes, so that reminds me. Let me put that up there. If you guys can help me out. All right, you guys got a lot of free stuff from me. I don't know. I don't even know how I'm going to pay my bills this week, but we are going to do this. If you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel, as I said, my lives, I'm going to download this one. All my lives are from YouTube. For TikTok are on YouTube. So if you type in Audrey Codner, which that is my name on this platform and others, or even ACG Math Tutoring, okay, you will find my YouTube channel. Please go ahead and subscribe. For those that are taking a test, I don't want you to overwhelm yourself with like a whole bunch of information. But if you want to, like maybe afterwards, or maybe just a little bit, if there was a concept that is missing and you want to take a look at it, go ahead and view the videos. I mean, there's tons of videos in there. If anything, if you guys want to do a Google review for me, because this is like tutoring, it will help me out to attract some more paid customers so I can keep things going here on TikTok and, basically keep myself, I don't know, far away from the pole. I don't know. It's getting to that point. Summer is coming. But then I don't know what's going on with my live schedule, but it looks like for this week, since a lot of my students are basically getting ready for their finals exam. My seniors are getting ready for their final exams. They just had prom this weekend. So I think I will be going on at 9:30 basically this week. Maybe Wednesday. No, it's not. I forgot. I switched to kid. Yeah, so basically all this week I'm going to be going live at 9:30 except for on Friday. That will be at 1 p.m. Okay. Saturday it might be 8:30. Just like how it was last night, and the same for next Sunday. So it looks like basically Monday through Thursday might be shooting for 9:30 for this week completely. It's going to be insane. Okay. Yes, not a problem, Bree. It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys so much. Oh, wow. You guys have been tapping away. Love this. This was great. So if you ever have any questions, if you want to get more information about my courses, if you want to get more information about my books, if you just have questions about certain things, maybe you want to have one-to-one conversations, please do not hesitate to either DM me, or you can just fill out the contact form in my what is it called? A website. Yeah. Told you it's that time of night. But here's a couple other people that I really think you guys should follow as well. My blessed RN, she was here earlier. If you're really thinking about going into nursing and you want to learn a new or basically a way to help you do your dosage math or dosage calculations, definitely follow her. Impact Math 19, Miss Evelyn. She's amazing, just amazing. I like her. She does the TEAS test, ASVAT, GED, similar to me, but it's also nice to have more than one person, speaking basically the same language. So there's times that she's on during the day and sometimes at night, whereas I'm going to be here just at night. So might as well see if you can get another resource. If you need a chemistry teacher, Professor TK, she's pretty much on her stuff. She goes live at 10 a.m. on Eastern Standard Time and sometimes in the evenings. And then my friend Lynette, knowing her, she's probably on live right now. And I'm probably going to shoot over there for a second. If you want to learn or teach your kids how to use the abacus to learn how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. And if you can get a kid multiplying and dividing quickly and accurately without a calculator and really understanding those concepts, trust me, she is going to modernize. She is modernizing this centuries, plural, method of counting. So definitely give a look at Learning with Lynette and see if you can follow her as well. We're probably going to do some kind of collab, but we meet with each other almost like on a weekly basis. So I think that is it. So if anything, have a lovely evening. Thank you so much for the support. If you're ever stuck, just let me know. If you want a course, just let me know. But at the same time, I'll be back on tomorrow night at 9:30. Okay, 9:30 p.m. I know it's late, but this is how I can fit everything in. All right, thank you. Yes, definitely, Marianne. Definitely check her out, Learning with Lynette. And she has books, and I mean, she has a lot of stuff on Abacus, and she also has a book on TikTok Shop as well. So, I mean, I'm always promoting her because I just love what she's doing, and it's just such an art form. And I think everybody's kid needs to learn how to do their math this way. It's not just with songs and videos anymore. All right. Alrighty. All right, guys, have a lovely evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night for more factoring. Again, we're going to be doing the quadratic formula, and I think I might be doing some more solutions if you guys want that as well. All right. All right. Have a lovely evening. Take care. Bye now. You're awesome. Keep it up.